Right now today, we're here to have a really quick and very solid conversation with some phenomenal creators, some people that we all know and that we all love. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're here to have a quick conversation about the art of collaboration.
My name is Af. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hey.
Give it up. Give it up. Member of RDC World. You know, I specialize in cinematography, all types of shooting, editing, all that. And how I got here is, I mean, y'all know the story. I ain't gonna brag. You feel me?
Cleo.
My name is Cleo Thomas. I am an Thank you very much for that. I am an actor, I'm a host, I'm a gamer, I'm a producer. I love cosplaying as some of my favorite characters as well, and what better place to do it at than DreamCon, so I love being here with that. And how I made up on the stage today, man, to be able to speak from my perspective of collaboration is getting a chance to collaborate with incredible folks, like the ones over at All Def, including one up here on stage with us to the left of me, King Vader, which I'm really excited to share our story of the things we've worked on together, so yeah.
Next up, we got Rico.
I'm Rico the Giant, YouTuber. I play video games. Everything on that channel is done by me, editing everything. I'm a big collaborator. I'm big on collaborations, as you guys know from the games that I play with my friends and things like that.
And last but not least, King Vader.
What's going on, y'all? King Vader, how y'all doing? Yeah, I mean, I do content creation, acting, directing. I edit all my skits and films. And collaboration is huge for me, whether that's collaborating with VFX artists, actors, some of my friends, anything. I feel like collaboration is a huge part of creation, and I wouldn't be here without the collaborations along the way.
I love that we have this group together because it's interesting because some of you guys have even worked together in the past, right? So I think the first way I want to start the conversation is, where does collaboration start for you? A lot of times, and I'll just give you a little context, a lot of times people want to collaborate with the big, huge name creators that everybody knows. But in reality, all of you guys, you started off working with people that were sitting to your right and sitting to your left, right? So my question for you all, for each one of you is, where does it start for you? How does collaboration start? And for the people in the audience, where can they start when they think about collaborating to expand their profile to make themselves bigger?
Okay, so from my perspective, I feel like collaboration starts at the beginning of the idea. Regardless of whether it's, hey, let's get this person and this person to work together, essentially everything breaks down to what is the idea and how can we execute it.
Absolutely.
100%.
For me, it's about being a fan. I'm a huge fan of creators and this new generation of creators because I come from a generation of entertainment where it was required for me to wait on somebody else to pick up the phone for me to go into an audition, to read for this role, right? And I'm so grateful to be a part of this generation in which we can call action whenever we want. So I'm a huge fan of everything RDC's done. I'm a huge fan of everything Vader's done, All Def, What's Good Armstrong, who's also here, who premiered his film here at DreamCon, Vigilante, the one that I star in. So it's being a fan of creators. So that's my journey, or that's my beginning process of how I started collaborating with so many different people.
For me, it's pretty much the same thing like what I've said. It starts with the idea, and it's a million times easier to do it with like people that you're friends with first. I always like to just collab with people or get to know people first before I do the collab, even reach out or anything like that. Or, just like Cleo said as well, it's like if I'm a fan of a creator, then that works too. But more importantly is the people that I mesh with the most,
No, I mean, I totally agree. It definitely starts with the idea, being inspired. You want it to make sense. You feel me? You want the collaboration to make sense. You want it to feel natural. And, a lot of people just want to create with this person because of like who they are, or, their success or their follower count. But at the end of the day, it's like if it's not genuine and if it doesn't make sense, it's like I don't think the idea is going to truly live how it could if you gave the right person the role. Another thing I would say is to find like-minded individuals. You want to, find people like, if you want to find actors, go to an acting class. There's going to be actors there. Go to like a film club. Like there's even here, you're at DreamCon. Like look around. Look at the dreamers around you. Collaborate. Always collaborate, and don't be afraid.
I always say, like, all the things that you need, they're right in front of you. They're always around you. And if you're manifesting and like bringing things to you, not only they're around you, they're also looking for you. So for all of you in the audience right now, what you're looking for is literally right next to you, which brings me to my next point about how do you build a team? We all know how important teams are. Every great creator, every great artist, every great musician, every great everything has happened as a result of a really solid team. For you guys, and this is for, again, like we're talking directly to this audience, they see you where you are now. They didn't see you where you were when you didn't have a team. How did you get a team that got you here?
I guess for me, I would say, you know, as creators, we end up wearing a lot of the hats. You know, we end up editing, filming, acting, all types of stuff, doing the visual effects, everything, right? Eventually, you have to figure out what your strength is, you know? And then I feel like to build that team, you have to find everyone's strengths. It's almost like on some One Piece stuff, like, you know, building your pirate crew, you feel me? Like, you want everyone to be the strongest at what they do individually. And I feel like that's how you get, like, a team like the Avengers or like the Straw Hats or so on and so forth.
Man, I'm still trying to learn, so I'm just soaking up what everybody else saying here. Because I don't really got a team. It's still just me.
As you grow in a space of, you know, whether it's content creation or whether it's movie making or music making, like no one is doing it all by themselves. Thanks. No one is. Everyone does have somebody or multiple people that are a part of that creation process. For me, I gotta be honest, I'm gonna share a story. I was very stubborn in that space. I didn't want to give anyone the range or the keys to what I was building out of fear of like, but what if it doesn't go right? What if I'm risking it all for this person to come and be a part of my brand and it doesn't move right, then it's affected, and that's all those ideas were in the back of my head. It took me a very long time to just relax, stop, and understand that it has to be a team process. It has to be them getting a chance to show their strengths, as Vader mentioned. And now here we are today for myself. I don't go anywhere without my team. Like I need them a part of this entire machine that I built because for me, I am my business. So yeah, man, it's about trusting those folks that you bring in as well. Yeah.
100%. I think I'm not going to say anything too different, but if you want a real like example, and here's the secret to how we keep winning every dodgeball game. I know that I can't throw a dodgeball. You know what I'm saying? I know that I'm not going to have the pride or the ego. I'm going to supply the dodgeball to the person that knows how to throw the dodgeball. And you could apply that to anything, whether that's filmmaking, music, content creation, understanding what your lane is and not having the pride or ego to try to, you know, go out of your field. Not to say not to go out of your comfort zone, but you got to have your own strong suit and find like-minded people that can fill in the gaps.
I'm gonna say, I'm gonna put Vader on the spot real quick, and I'm gonna do some like individual questions so it's not just everybody answering everything. But Vader, you collaborate with a lot of different people, but in particular, a lot of times we see you collaborate with some celebrities, right? And I would like to ask the question, can you give us an example of a collaboration, a specific collaboration that you think went well? And also just kind of like walk us through the psyche or the mind behind why you picked whoever, it doesn't have to be a celebrity, but why you picked that collaboration and then how that came into this world. And anybody else that wants to answer that question can also answer it as well.
So, okay, I mean, something that was recent was with me and Cleo, right? So I'm gonna intro the story, right?
Go
so I recently got a collaboration with Mortal Kombat, you know, so I got to work with Mortal Kombat, lifelong dream, all that stuff, right? So for a long time now, you know, I peeped Cleo, you know, the legend that he is, and I seen that he's a huge Mortal Kombat player and things of that nature, and one of his favorite characters is Sub-Zero. You know, I had an opportunity to, you know, I was thinking, I hit him up like, hey, you know, like, would you be down to like play and represent Sub-Zero in this video? Knowing that it's his favorite character, I just felt like that would be more of a natural approach to it, and I feel like ultimately it was the right move. So I feel like, you know, to me it was more about making the collaboration make sense, like the vision of it all, versus just like doing something just like to do it. Like, you know, Cleo, you were truly amazing, and I loved the collaboration. But to have you be the character that you loved, to me meant everything. So yeah.
You made a dream come true that day for damn sure, bro. Can I piggyback off of something that
Please.
For Vader really fast? He also got the opportunity to do the production rollout for the recent Bad Boys film. Okay, I'm sure most of you guys have seen that video with him, Will Smith, Martin Lawrence. That was crazy, right?
Make some noise for that.
Clap it up, clap it up.
Success,
Yes,
more success.
Yes. Vader was given that opportunity to create all of these moments for these two icons and legends in entertainment. As an actor, I grew up loving Bad Boys. I've met Will Smith on several occasions, Martin Lawrence on several occasions, but I never got a chance to share a scene with him until he picked up the phone and called me and said, hey, I got this idea. I want you to be like this Miami drug kingpin, and you're gonna shoot at me and Martin Lawrence and Will. I didn't even let him get to Will. I was like, I'm there. Whatever you need, just let me know, and I'm there. So that is a testament to what it means collaboratively, right? And I guess trusting somebody, because he could have called, he has a Rolodex full of people, but whatever he needed that day from me, I was there for it. And to this day, I'm very, very honored to have shared that scene, not only with the legends that are Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, but because I know the director and the creator of that moment trusted me for something. So thank you for that as well, brother. I got to thank you. Like, clap it up for Vader one time.
Yes, sir.
We love bromance. We respect black love in men too. We love y'all. That's dope. I want to jump to you, Av. You've been a part of the RDC crew, RDC world from the beginning, and you guys again have like built something. Can you talk to us about what it's like, good or bad, working with your friends?
Okay, I'll start off with bad. The bad part is, sometimes we don't always have the best ideas, but at the end of the day, we always get together and say, okay, what works, what doesn't work? And sometimes some people are really passionate about their ideas, and it's not good. I could be an example, you know what I'm saying? I'm not exempt, you feel me? But the good thing is that because we're friends, we're comfortable enough to be like, hey, not feeling that one. Or this one works, but let's put our spin on it this way. And I think that writer's room kind of mentality really is what brings the best thing out.
100%. Nobody can be honest with you like the people that love you. And sometimes those are the most difficult conversations to have, but those are the ones that you have to have.
100%.
In that same sense. Rico. So Rico, you've collaborated with Berleezy, with Joe, PG, with Krista, with all these people. And I want to know, being a part of Some Bros over the years, right? Can you talk to us about, and this is something for everybody too, the evolution, right? Like the changes that have happened. From then to now to where you see yourself going in the future, because I just want to give a caveat that I think that like people change, right? Like everyone changes. Like the person that you meet today is not the same person that you're going to meet later, and that change then can impact collaboration, right? So like the question is just like all the people that you've worked with and all the things that you've done and that you're going to do. Talk to us just about like the impact of change.
The thing about doing things like anything content-wise with friends is that, and when you're like so close together, you kind of like evolve like together in a sense, like just the way how you do content kind of merges together in a way, the way how you guys joke, vibe, everything, like it kind of like evolves like together. And I don't know, it's just like it's not anything that's like, there's not many challenges, I would say. Bro, I don't know I'm really blanking, bro.
No, it happens.
All good.
I'm a be my brother's keeper. And what I really heard you say was that over time, like as you're evolving with your crew and your people, like all of you are changing together.
Exactly.
And ideally, that means that everything is getting better.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just trying to say, well, he said that, not me, for real. And then to that point, I guess, Rico, I'm gonna pick on you again because I feel like there's something there that I think this crew can benefit from. Earlier, you said in this conversation, you're like, but it's just me, right? Like I'm out here, I'm like I'm doing this thing by myself, right? There's a world where like you are actually a product of like many, many other people. You know what I mean? So I want to go back to you and say, like, can you talk to us about the people that impacted your life, that brought you to the point where you are, that allow you to be capable to do so many things by yourself?
I don't know if there was anybody that really impacted me in that sense to where I wanted to like do things by myself. But in terms of like who impacted me to like do what I do now, I would say it was definitely my cousin Kayla. Shout out to her. When we were a lot younger, we used to always, anytime we would get together, we would always just like play games together, joke around, make jokes. And those used to be my favorite moments anytime like hanging around family. It's just playing games and cracking jokes at the games. And I feel like that kind of like got me to where I'm at here and, where I'm just comfortable with doing that now, But in terms of like wanting to do things on my own, I don't think there was anybody that really impacted me on that. I just feel like, I don't know, it's kind of like what you said where you're just like stubborn and you don't want to like give the keys to, like that's kind of how I am right now. It's like, and plus I really enjoy doing everything. It's not like I'm like stressed out or I'm like,
I want to flip to Cleo now for your individual. So Cleo, you do a lot of collaborations and you also have a background in like film and TV, like acting. Shout out to Zero. Everybody say shout out to Zero.
Yes, sir. Shout out Zero.
So
before you ask the question, for the Zero fans out there, can we do this one very quickly? If when I say this, I need you to go ahead and finish the sentence. I'm tired of this, Grandpa.
That's too damn.
Even security said it. All right, cool. Just had to say. Go ahead.
So I was curious to you. You've worked on movie sets. Can you tell us the keys to effective collaboration? Like, what has to be in place for collaboration to be good?
So it is a lot of different pieces coming together, right? When you're on a film set, you've got your director, you've got your producer, you got your writers, you got your actors, sure, but then you also got to have grip, you got to have lighting, sound, all of those elements. There are several different people in all those departments, and all of that has to be A-okay before we even call action. And all these, all these movies we've seen over the years, all these different people that have been on sets, like it's proven point of what you can do when an entire team comes together with a end goal, and everyone knows what the final product has to be. So for me, it's wild to see where we are now because of, like I had mentioned earlier, just the technology that we have. Right? Like, I grew up and I did not have a device in my home that could record video, record audio, edit it, and then put it out there for the world to see, like this craft that I was so passionate about. My mom's around here somewhere, and I'm sure her seeing me on stage talk about this story is kind of wild, because I told her I'm a military kid, so I was born in Alaska. And in Germany, I'm watching TV one day, and I'm like, I want to do that. And my mom's like, what are you even talking about? So to see the full circle moment, for us to be here 21 years later after a resume that is quite stacked, with Walking Tall with The Rock, and then Roll Bounce, and then Sons of Anarchy, and Hurricane Season, and Bones, and ER, and then most recently Vigilante, the film that actually screened here, directed by Wesley Wasgood Armstrong. He was the person that I wanted to trust to direct something at that scale, right? This was going to be his very first film coming out where he wanted to show the world, I can direct. And I've believed in Wes since the very first time I met him. So when the time came, he steps on set, and I trusted him because he was the one that, when he came to me, asked, do you think I can do this? And I said, I guess asking from the fact that I've been doing this for so long, I said, you can. I trust you to be able to direct all of this and give us all our lines to make sure it's the vision that you want. So it's having somebody at the head of the table who has a clear vision and being able to explain that vision to the team so we get to the end goal.
So good. Yeah. So good. I want to, again, this is a question for everybody. Next question, people see collaboration, and a lot of times they think like other people, but I also want to bring it to conversation, not just people, but like brands or companies or like, people that you can collaborate with to help expand your brand. Can any of you talk to us about how you approach collaborations with organizations, with corporations, with nonprofits even? How do you approach those kind of collaborative opportunities and moments?
Oh yeah, I'm actually really glad you said that, because I was thinking while you was talking, like there's so many other forms of collaboration that we're not talking about, whether that's the rollout of something, how to market it. And I guess with brands, even with YouTube, it's like, how do we be in a world with so much content, how do we make something creative enough to, bring in an audience? And I think that it really comes down to the marketing, the rollout, how something's presented. Because at the end of the day, yes, you can collaborate on a project, but it could be something as simple as having a YouTube water bottle, terrible example, but you could still integrate that into the whole piece, and then figure out, okay, how do we do the water bottle post? How do we get the biggest rapper to naturally have a non-scripted thing about this? I feel like hopefully that answers that question, but I'm kind of rambling a little bit.
That was a great answer.
For brand collaborations, when you get on that Zoom call, or if you haven't had the chance yet, you will. You're going to get on the Zoom call.
Or if you get on a Google Meet.
Yeah, Google Meet. Google Meet. My bad.
This is YouTube.
You're right. Google Meet. My apologies. When you get on your video call with your, with the brand, and they're gonna talk you through what they want their process to be, and what they want the overall messaging to be. Then they're going to send you a document that's going to have the key points and the messaging, and it's on you at that point to bring that to life in your way. And I guarantee you, whatever you write that first time, you're going to have to rewrite it again, and you're going to have to rewrite it again. And then you may shoot it and something isn't right, then you're going to have to redo it again. But that is the collaborative process between a company, a multi-billion-dollar forward-facing company, in which they want their messaging to be what it is. So it's also the sharpening of that skill set throughout that process to understand collaboration as well. So I just wanted to put that out there for anyone as the time comes. Don't get discouraged by it, because I have seen folks get really upset that their first idea didn't work, and now here we are doing it again. Use that as a tool sharpening process as you collaborate with brands in the future.
I completely agree. And what I actually want to focus on now is like the anatomy of an idea. right? Like what makes an idea an idea? I spend a lot of time on calls at YouTube talking to creators, talking to brands, talking to artists, musicians, record labels, or whatever, and we're going back and forth in this iterative creative process, right? And inevitably, to you all's point at the top of this, the thing that anchors all of our conversations, or the thing that the reason that we're talking, is because of an idea. And good ideas are really hard to come by. There's a lot of ideas. It's tough to do them, like, and to take it a step further, it's tough to come up with a good idea and then execute against that idea. Yep. So can y'all talk to me about the anatomy of an idea? What makes a good idea, and how do you take an idea from just being an idea to being something that lives in the real world?
So I think an idea starts with the inspiration. Like, what is it that you're trying to say? What is it that you're trying to execute? You know, for me, a lot of what I do is like I'm following my heart. I'm following what feels right. You know, I feel like at this point, you know, you kind of have to be confident in like what you're doing. Like, you know, you gotta stand on it. Like, you know, I believe in this. I believe like this is dope. I believe this is fire. And you truly have to create with that, and you have to move with that. When it comes to working with brands, I definitely think it's a respect both ways. You know, you have to understand like what their brand is, what their messages is, but you also have to understand who you are and what your brand is and how you guys can make that mesh perfectly, you know? And like Cleo was saying, not to get discouraged or things like that, because it happens to all of us, you know? But to bring that idea to life, you know, it takes a team, you know what I'm saying? It takes a lot, you know. Sometimes you might have to reshoot some stuff. Sometimes you might need a pickup day. But don't get discouraged, because at the end of the day, it's about you fighting for what you saw in your head or what you wrote on that paper. So I say, you know, keep fighting until you get what you want.
So good.
So I feel like from a skit perspective, honestly, an idea comes from, like y'all have said, a spark. What is a topic? There's also a lot of different variables, like, is this popular? Is this trending? Is it relatable? Can people understand what I'm talking about? And I think the best example would probably be from the LeBron skits that we do, where it's like, okay, this scenario happened, what's the best way to go about it? And like you said, like, we go about 30 different ways at 2 a.m. trying to figure out, like, is this the best way to execute it? And then, hey, sometimes we don't make the shot, and it don't become that. And I think trying to figure out like the trial and error is what makes an idea good, and being okay with being like, okay, this idea is trash, scrap it. It's okay to spend however many hours into a video if you got that learning experience regardless.
Facts.
So dope. So I think at this point we can actually take a couple questions from the audience if y'all are down for that. Because I want to make sure that people get to ask their own questions as well. So if you have a question that you would like to ask, just feel free to hop up, come up. We'll just make a little line here so we can see you and we can hear you. Go for it right here. So for those of you getting here, she said for everybody, she wants to hear your first collaboration and your favorite collaboration. Ooh, that's tough.
I just shared this story on the panel beforehand, and you had mentioned collaborating with the people beside you, not always looking up, right? And Patrick Cloud from All Def. It's 9 o'clock at night, and I'm in a Target, and I'm buying a Nintendo Switch, and I see him like an aisle over, and I walk up to him because I never met him before, and I was like, hey, I just want to say I'm a big fan, and I love everything you're doing. If there's any chance I could, do something at All Def, I would love to be involved. And he's like, all right, cool. A week later, he gives me a call, and I get a chance to go to the All Def offices in downtown LA, and we did our first episode of Great Taste together. And it was so much fun. So that was my very first one that I feel that I took the initiative to want to collaborate with somebody or an entire entity that wasn't ended up being the channel All Def. My favorite one, low-key, it's a tie between Vader bringing me in for the Will Smith and Martin Lawrence Bad Boys one, but then also a couple years ago I got a chance to do this live-action My Hero Academia thing called UALA. I don't know if anyone saw that. Yeah.
Banger.
Yeah, UALA was amazing because the director, Christopher Clark Cowan, went on to do Wonder Woman. He went on to do Kingsman. He was part of the Shang-Chi action directing and designing, and he just directed all of the action and stunts for the Acolyte series. Black man that did all that, man, that's my favorite one because we had so much fun on that set. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Nice.
Thank you.
So my very first YouTube video on my personal channel is actually a really big collab. Like, I did not think that was going to happen the way it did. I think it's called Giving a Gift to My Enemies. but it had Berleezy, it had RDC, it had Tut, it had Caleb City. It was so many people in that video, and it was a lot to manage in a sense because when you're working with your friends, but they're also creators. There's a lot going on in everyone's life. You want to respect people's time and things like that. So especially when you have the idea and you're super inspired, you have to explain the vision correctly and you have to execute it. So it was a cool video. It was dope and everything. My favorite is definitely the Bad Boys collab. I mean, Will Smith has been my hero since I was like a kid, and to me, meeting him was like Deku meeting All Might in a way. It was crazy. And I just never imagined like something like that would happen, but just sticking to my guns and doing what I love, it got me there. So, yeah.
My first ever collabs that I've done on my channel was really with just like my high school friends, playing 2K, playing whatever game we had, really. But I would say like my first like real collab with like other creators was the Hand Simulator video with my friend Berleezy, Jack, PG. I was a really small channel and they gave me a great opportunity, and I worked so hard on that video. And I remember just seeing that video hit 100,000 views was just like, it was everything to me. So I would say that was my first collab. But my favorite collab was probably, I got like 8 YouTubers to play Pico Park with me. And it was Corey, Gloom, Jay Cub Scouts, Berlin, Krista, Joe. It was insane. It took me probably like a month to edit that video, but it was absolutely worth it. And it's still probably one of my biggest videos on my channel. It was amazing. I loved every second of it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Shout out. Real collaborations.
I hate to have a cop-out because I work with several people all the time, but I think our first collab was with Berleezy. We did the Roach That Got Tired of the BS. And honestly, that might have been my favorite collab because it was just one day. That was like our first project that was really required like, a film, like short film type vibes. And I loved it.
All right, next up. Also, I'm sorry, we're not going to be able to get to all the questions, but we're going to get to as many of them as we possibly can. It's good to see that people are locked in. And also, these guys will be moving around the conference, so if you have individual specific questions, you can ask them when you see them around.
I hear you guys talk about working with like Berleezy and Martin Lawrence and everything. Did y'all ever feel like man, this is like you're saying, like that's your hero? Did you ever be like, I'm acting a little bit unprofessional? Or have y'all been in a collab where you're like, damn, bro, you acting a little bit unprofessional?
So for me, I was on the outside, I held it together, but inside I was terrified. You feel me? Like I didn't want to trip up. I didn't want to make a mistake, but at the end of the day, we're human beings. You know what I'm saying? Something happens, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? Just be yourself and everything's going to naturally play out how it needs to be honest. And even when it comes to working with like creators and some of my friends, it's like they're some of the coolest and funniest people I know. So there's a lot of laughs on set. Sometimes it's too many laughs, so yeah.
To Vader's point, I would say like working with friends is always like, it could get unprofessional really quick. But it's just, I don't know, like, especially when playing games, that's just how it is. So, but I don't know, it's mostly fun for me. It's never like a worry about being like unprofessional to the point where work doesn't get done.
I do music. I play the saxophone, and like I'm a part of an R&B group, based out of Waco. And we've been taking music a lot more seriously over the year. And I know collaborations are important, but it's like when to collaborate because we want to make sure we're collaborating with the right people and everything like that. But it's like, when to collaborate with the people that is going to like help elevate you. Like, I guess, when was the time that y'all felt like, okay, it's time for me to collab or anything like that?
I think you should always be open to it. I really do, especially in the world we live in where how we're consuming all of this content and media constantly. I think you should always be open to a collaboration because the cross migration of whether it's followers or views, that's all based in there because you're building up yourself via your music and your band, beautiful. But if there's a singer out there who you hear that would sound great over the band, bring them in, or vice versa. I think always being open to a collaboration. Yeah, that's my take on it.
And I say, again, follow what inspires you. You know, maybe try something. Like if you wanted to collaborate with like, I don't know, like a restaurant or some event to like perform with them, and then you record this on like TikTok and then it goes viral. It's like you never know the benefits of these things for taking these risks or just trying something new. So I say be open to things.
To that point, it can come from anywhere, right? The spark for that idea, it can come from anywhere. So be open to that. Next up.
Hi, my main question is when doing really creating content, do you guys think about like, ooh, like is this gonna hit, or do you think about stuff that you would want to see personally?
I think from my perspective, it doesn't necessarily matter if it's gonna hit. At the end of the day, you have to think, is this something, and I'm kind of going off of Swoozie, not gonna lie, but he said, is this something I would watch if I didn't make it? And I think that's the best way to go about it for everything, regardless of, oh, it's a trending topic, or oh, this gonna hit. Do I like it? Would I send this to my friends? It doesn't matter if I'm in it or not.
I kind of do this thing where I feel like I'm always like 5 years ahead of myself, which could be a good or a bad thing. And I kind of think like, you know, would I enjoy this content in 5 years? Because I feel like what happens is a lot of people create content for now to do the viral or the super trending thing, and it's something they might not agree with, but they know it's going to bring them the views, it's going to hit. But then 5 years from now, you look back and it's like, I don't know if I should have done that. And to me, it's like I don't want to have regrets. I want to walk forward and be proud. So yeah.
For me, double-edged sword, because I've never cared about the numbers. Like, I don't care. I genuinely get a chance to wake up every day and do something that I'm very passionate about. I'm having fun doing something every single day. So it's not work for me. And then what do they say about work? It's like if you find the thing you love and you're doing that, it's not work. So I personally never cared about the numbers. I don't care if it's a hit or a flop. I don't care. As long as I put something out there that I was creative with, I'm all good.
Yeah. The numbers is just like the cherry on top.
Yeah.
So what's up, fellas? I'm Snap from Boston. Glad to be here. So firstly, I feel like...
I hear the Boston. Y'all hear the Boston?
Yeah, I'm from Boston, yeah. Yeah, so firstly, I feel like we definitely need more RDC and some bros on Among Us. I miss those streams. Secondly, right? How many is too many when it comes to either having a group or like doing group collabs? Like how many people is too many people? You know, how many chefs in the kitchen is too much?
If things start to get like too overwhelming, too many people talking, it's just like, once it gets to that point, like you'll know when it gets to that point when there's just like too much going on. Like you'll know. Like usually for me, like because I do like gaming videos, it's like anything after like 8 is crazy. It gets crazy to like work with, edit, all that.
But then we think of didn't Mr. Beast do something really recently where he brought like all these guys into that one room? Yeah. Like that was a full production, obviously, and shot thing, but like that was a lot of people in that room to pull that off. Yeah. So yeah, the gauge is very all over the place.
I think to that point, it's like kind of like to what F said. It's like, would you watch it? You know, like, is there a point to it? Does it take away? Do the additional voices, take away from what it is you're trying to accomplish with this video, or is it just, or does it add to that point? And then to your point, Rico, you'll know when, okay, no, I'm missing the message at this point, and I just have voices. It's just noise. It's not actually doing what I wanted to do.
What's up, y'all? My name is Crisco. I'm from Chicago. My YouTube name is Minor Prowess Entertainment, or the Bonnet God, best artist you never heard of. My question is, when you get to a point where you set a goal and it feels unattainable, how do you stay motivated?
I guess my strategy with it is I actually set a goal that seems so big that it feels unattainable.
Yeah.
Because honestly, it's like once you hit that goal, you're going to kind of be at a point where it's like, okay, like now what, you know? But I feel like setting a huge goal, a big dream, something that you can chase that almost seems impossible, you know? And it's like, you never know, you might actually do it. You feel me? And it's like, when you have such a huge dream, every day, everything you do is gonna be pushing you towards that. And you might one day achieve your goal. So I say shoot for the big goals, shoot for the big dreams, 100%.
Retweet.
Vader, what's that goal? What's that goal for you?
The goal is to become the greatest director in my generation. So
real one.
Let's go.
Real one. I'm stubborn. Like I said earlier, it's a double-edged sword, so I'm stubborn. Like, I gotta get it. I don't care. Like, I need to get to it. And for me, it's crazy because I remember, you know, telling my classroom, like, I'm gonna be an actor one day. I'm gonna be an actor one day. And getting laughed at, and then I proved it at 13. And I'm like, oh, you're screwed. The world's screwed. I did it now. It's forever for this. So it's chasing that high forever.
Thank you for your question.
Thank you. It was great.
Thank you.
Great question. Next up.
Hello, my name is Raven. I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. And I have a lot of passions. I'm a painter, dancer, actor, YouTuber, graphic designer, fashion designer, all the things. So with someone with a lot of passion, a lot of different passions, it's hard for people to take me seriously in one thing, especially when I'm trying to collaborate. So what is some advice or maybe times that someone didn't take you seriously? What is something that I can do or say or be like for people to take me seriously when I'm trying to collaborate?
This is a really great question.
So off the dome, I would say if you're trying to prove it to a specific person, show them your catalog of where what it is you're trying to show them, whether that's graphic design, being an actor. If you're trying to show that to the world, I would say have different accounts, because at the end of the day, if you have one spot, one big page, and you have X, Y, Z, then they're not gonna have a certain thing to cling on to. So when you have those different accounts, it does sound like a lot, but you have that aesthetic of, okay, I can take this person serious in this spot, or I can, she has this too. Oh, I can go over that. I guess tying that all together to say, have your aesthetic down so they don't have that question of, oh, if she does this, why does she do that?
I think my advice would probably be try to figure out your, like, maybe top 2 favorite things to do, or, your favorite things in general, and just try and merge that into one thing. You don't want to, like, space out and do too much, and then it gets overwhelming. So I would say just focus on, like, 1 or 2 things that you're best at or you like the most, and push that. And then once you find success in that, you could always incorporate the other things later, and you'll definitely by then prove whoever is talking wrong, But just, I would say just focus on, the things that you like the most out of that.
I want to say too that I do want to like acknowledge that what I think is missing from this panel is a woman's perspective. And now that I'm looking back at it, I was like, I really wish we could have had one of our women creators, because I think that what you're expressing, I'll speak to me like personally. I manage artists. I work at Google. My family owns a cattle ranch. I do like a bunch of different things too. And what I find is that there's a way, to your point, to draw a through line through it all. Like there's something about you that connects you to all of these things, and by virtue of that, connects all of these things to each other. And then to Ask's point about getting your aesthetic right, it's about, I'm up here in a cowboy hat, and I'm talking to these creators from my YouTube perspective, but I'm also like, I represent a music perspective as well, and some of the questioning and some of the answers that we're given here. There's a way to do it. It takes time. And you're not going to get it right every single time, but I do think that there's a way for you to be. I don't want you to walk away from this that you can't do all those things. You 100% can.
Well, yeah, and I don't want you to feel like that either. Yeah,
for sure. For sure. No. Yeah, so I hope that helps as well. My boy Michael, man. We've been upstairs in the YouTube lounge for the last few days. If you haven't made yourself to the YouTube lounge on the 3rd floor, make sure you come up there because we got it popping in there. And Michael has been coming every single day, all the time. Make some noise for Michael, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Michael, tell him where you're from.
I'm from Maryland, actually. All the way from the East Coast, pretty far of
Where the PG County kids at?
Oh man, are you from PG County too?
They're everywhere.
Oh shit! All right.
They're
cool,
like
cool.
ants.
DMV.
They're like ants. They're everywhere.
Hey man, we go around. We go around. So my question to y'all is, as creators that collab with a lot of different people, from celebrities, brands, sponsorships, all the different things. Have y'all ever had like an idea or something you wanted to go to a brand about, and they kind of just like shot you down, or you went to a brand like, oh, we have this good idea, and it's like, oh, this is perfect, this works for us on every aspect, this is like fantastic. Like, I guess give an example, like a good one and a bad one that happened to y'all.
I mean, I've had ideas that I felt extremely passionate about, and then like the brand will take it in and they see like the drive and the flames like in my eyes, but then they're just like, yeah, but that's just not gonna work with us. And it's like sometimes, like I say, it's the respecting. It goes both ways. At the end of the day, it's like this is a company that's built their brand up for however X long, and it's like you have to understand that there's a certain way that they want to run that thing. So it's like, okay, it's like I get that. You know, come back. Let's find a middle ground so we can collaborate and succeed in this together. So I feel like that's more of a bad way, but I mean, good collaborations happen all the time in the sense of like sparking off that idea, and like I said, it's the respecting. And if you believe in it and you can sell that idea, like it's a pitch. If you could sell that idea, you can get them as excited as you are. You're going to get that yes. But sometimes you get no's, and it's okay. A lot of doors close, but a lot more open. So
it really comes down to what the brand is about and how y'all integrate. I don't have a perfect example, but to think about how Adventure Time could have been on Nickelodeon, but Nickelodeon didn't pick it up. It's like they had a good idea and they ran into a brand where it just wasn't working. But you find the right brand and you get a hit.
Oh, and I meant to say, it doesn't have to be with like just brands, like even with like other creators. Like if y'all did, like I know when Rico, he said he collabs with a lot of different creators. Do y'all ever have like an idea or a video you wanted to make and it just like did not work out either with timing or something like that?
Yeah, mainly it's timing. Yeah, like there might be a game that's like going crazy and you try to get everybody on board, but somebody's flown out somewhere or somebody got something else going on, and you know it is what it is. But yeah, I would say that's mainly that for me. Yeah.
Hey, I go by Rogue or Ren Uchiha on TikTok. I follow my boy Leo and Vader up there. As a woman creator and a nerd, I get a lot of skepticism, or I get told I don't know what I'm talking about. So my question is, how do you deal with the haters as a content creator?
You try your best to just be like, that's really what I do, honestly. Like if I focus on it too much, then it will start to like slow me down, and you know that's never good. So I just try my best to stay clear of it, honestly, and also focus on the positive. You know, for me, it's like there's so many more people that's showing love and you know appreciating whatever it is that I'm doing. So, you know, as long as I focus on that, then I'll be good.
Yeah, ultimately, like I agree. You know, like you can't focus on the negative, even though it's like it's very like hard to ignore it sometimes. I feel like ultimately you should put the energy into the people who are trying to be positive. I feel like a lot of times they get overlooked, and the negative comments get like brought to the top. But you know, at the end of the day, it's like we can't control how other people like view us, or you know, even if they're vibing with us. Like I think this is my third time I'm about to say this, but you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea, because some people don't even drink tea. You know what I'm saying? So it's about finding the people that, you know, believe in what you're doing and rocking with them specifically, showing them the priority.
That was our last question. But for those of you that didn't get a chance to like ask your question, I really want you all to know that like that's not like a bad thing. I'm sure there's more questions, a lot more questions. That's not necessarily a bad thing. It's actually an opportunity for you to now go and do the work. Like you got to show hustle. You gotta go hard. Like, this is the only way you ever get anything in life. Like, these people are still gonna exist out there. So go find them. I will say thank you guys so much for a beautiful conversation. I don't know if you guys enjoyed that, but I learned a lot from that. DreamCon, thank you guys for being a phenomenal audience. This is the Art of Collaboration powered by YouTube, DreamCon 2024, and we love you. Thank y'all for everything.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.